Alright, first tournament of the game, Avenger tournament. So this is probably the hardest tournament in my opinion. So you're gonna have to practice this one a lot. Um, so thing to note about the tournaments, you can select challenges and you can go to the first challenge. But if you do this, you're gonna be kicked out as soon as the first challenge ends. This does not happen with the Crusader or Liberator tournaments, assuming you didn't quit out of the game at any point and you're doing this all in one go. So, if you want to remember which tournaments will kick you out and which ones don't, Avenger and Vindicator tournament spawn you right here next to Clank. The other two will not. So, if you spawn here, you know you just got to go to the shuttle manually. So, I'll explain this for those other tournaments as well, just in case you aren't watching these in order. But yeah. Manic Speed Demon. This is a fun arena mission. It's probably my favorite arena mission in the game. So you're going to start off with the fusion rifle that you had on Kronos, and you're going to take out these two tremors. Then you're going to pull out the Vulcan cannon and start shooting enemies. There's going to be a few numerical checkpoints, as in like once you see a certain number on the scoreboard to the right, you'll have to remember an action, like turning around to go to the next set of enemies or a dropship. So first, when you get the 16 enemies, there's going to be a dropship that you want to kill. Then 27 means you have to go over to this side, kill more enemies. 36 enemies, you got to look to your left to kill this set of enemies, followed by a dropship. And then 49 enemies. Once you kill 49, turn around and kill the rest of the enemies. So I'll go over that one more time. So spawn in, destroy these two tremors, and then get the 16 points and destroy this dropship. Kill some more enemies until you get to 27, then go to the other side of the arena. 36 enemies, kill this set of blade balls, destroy this dropship, and once you get to 49 enemies, you'll turn around again and finish off the rest of the fight. And now, these next two missions are going to have air swings, although the third mission will have an alternate route that I'll show off. So this mission, charge over to the right. I don't recommend charging to the left because when you do the air swing, you can get caught on this brown ledge. The tremors have two attacks. A ranged attack where they smack the ground and some gray stuff comes at you. And then a melee attack where they run up and they'll try and slice at you. If they do the ranged attack, you will charge into it, do a state cancel, and then you only need one additional hit. They are more likely to do the melee attack though. So if this happens, then you have to walk into it and you'll need to take 2 additional hits. So there's no guarantee I'll get to show off the ranged attack, but hopefully I can. So unfortunately I didn't. They did the melee attack, so I walked into it. I saw Ratchet took some damage. I've state canceled and now I await to take damage twice. And then you're just gonna air swing to the end of the level. Thankfully there isn't really much to do with this air swing. You don't have to like adjust too much. Just make sure you don't go off too much diagonally into a different direction. And then once you get to the end, pull out the Leviathan flail. And now from my experience, when you first get into this arena, the enemies spawn from all over you. Look at the mini-map, obviously. And then once this dropship spawns, I find that now they come from these two sides of the arena, the right and the bottom. So, yeah. You don't really need to worry about the arena fight much. You can just use the mini-map and you'll be fine. And then for the air swing, again, learn to adapt to its attack patterns. I would have shown off the ranged attack, but I didn't want to risk having to restart the mission over and over since the attack is RNG. But you will recognize it when you see it because, again, it's going to slam the ground and you'll see some gray stuff coming at you. You actually saw it when I restarted the first mission, Manic Speed Demon, for just a second there. So anyways, climb the Tower of Power. So with this one, there's a flail cancel you can do at the start. If you can't do it, that's perfectly fine. You can do the alternative option of just waiting for the platforms. And now there's 2 methods to doing this. I'll show off the easy method, being that you just climb up the tower manually. So if you do this, keep in mind, this cycle right here for these platforms is actually a little bit different, depending on whether you do flail cancel or not. So I'll show you with the flail cancel, because I just show you what it's like without the flail cancel. Yeah, you'll get to go onto this second platform. So yeah, you're just gonna have to keep that in mind, that you'll if you don't do the flail cancel, there'll be a slight difference in those platforms at the start. Everything else is not really gonna matter much. When you're charging up across the tower, I recommend getting to like the back corners and you charge and shoot so that you can quickly cover some ground. Don't bonk into those walls. Doesn't matter if you touch the walls. Even though they're spikes, they don't damage you. So just climb the tower normally, and then just do what I told you. Just get to the corner, charge and shoot. Then once you see the flame platform right here at the end, that's when you start going after it, because it will turn over by the time you reach it. And then pull out the fusion rifle. I'll explain how to do this after I explain the alternate method of getting up the tower. So if I remember correctly, it should be this and then this. There's another air swing that you can do here. So get onto this platform, and then you're going to do a flail cancel. And now there's two turrets right here. So when you do that flail cancel, you ideally want the left turret to activate first, or for them to activate at the same time. And then you're going to charge into the left turret's laser beam. You can do this if the one on the right activates first, although I'm not as consistent at that, and it doesn't happen to me as often. What usually happens is the one on the left will activate first. But you can adapt to that on the fly, so you're going to have to learn to read the patterns. Charge into it, and then do a state cancel. You only need to take one additional hit, which thankfully the second turret provides. Aim behind you towards this corner, and then boom. Now you have this tiny slope that you can get up on top of. You're going to have to make small adjustments on the fly, and then turn around, and then make it to the top. Now how do you know when you've made it to the top? When can you turn around if you're not going to adjust the camera? If you haven't adjusted the... Like, if you're still facing this way when you're going up the slope and you haven't adjusted the camera, how can you know when you've gotten enough height? When Ratchet is above this spike right here, that's when I turn around personally, and it works every single time. I always make it to the top. Now I'll show you a little backup you can do in case you do get the air swing, but you end up killing it while out of bounds. Okay, there we go. So I had to adapt on the fly. I took the second hit. You now know what it's like if you have to do it with the one on the right. So let's say you somehow kill it. Oh, okay, though that wasn't what I intended on happening. I'll show this off again. Oh, I don't have the right weapon out. So, come on, do the foil cancel. So what happens if you make it to the top but you don't get to the tower? Well, there's a little backup you can do. There's some stuff that you can stand on at the top of the tower that I'll show off right now. So get up here, you're air swinging, everything's all fine, and then somehow you get clipped into the top. Oh yeah, by the way, you can clip into the top and die. But if you don't do that, yeah, I forgot to mention that. That is something that can happen. Obviously, try and be careful so that you don't clip into it, because it will instantly kill you if you clip at the top. So if you're at the top, ooh, come on, come on. Okay, I'll just hyperstack my way up onto the top because I don't want to set this up again. There's a spot around, actually no, let's just restart the mission. So there's a spot that you can climb up, and then you'll be able to do a flail cancel into a hyperstack, and it will give you enough distance to make it to the other side. So I'll need to wait for a second hit. Okay, I took sufficient damage and I can climb up again. So if you get stuck at the top here, you can just climb up this slope, get on here, get onto this platform, and then flail cancel and then do a hyperstack. I would absolutely recommend doing the hyperstack. I've never been able to make it to this side without a hyperstack. And then after this, pull out the fusion rifle and shoot at those two enemies, the Executioner and the Leviathan. You don't actually have to kill both of them. You can just leave one alive. However, don't let the Leviathan live, because if you leave it alive, there's a chance that when you're using the Leviathan flail in just a second, um, the Leviathan will start shooting you with its laser, and the flail takes away your iframes when you're using it, so it can like kill you really quickly. It's very risky. So get rid of the Leviathan. Prioritize getting rid of the Leviathan. You actually have enough time to kill both enemies before you have to turn around. Shoot at the orange barrier towards this dropship. Then look to your left up top and get the that other dropship. And then start spamming the flail. So yeah, this is a very difficult air swing, so I don't blame you if you decide not to do it, but I would recommend doing it. As you saw, even I was struggling to do certain things with it. I was struggling to like, get the good setup. By the way, when you get to that cutscene, you can just mash and you'll see the pause menu and you'll be able to save a few seconds and go to the next planet early. But yeah, you really have to work out how that air swing works. Learn to read the patterns of the turrets and adapt on the fly. If you don't see that you've taken an extra hit, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. This is also where I recommend not having the bots fully upgraded, like not having any of the bot weapons, because um, then the bots will destroy the enemies quicker, and we don't want that to happen. So yeah, Avenger Tournament is a pretty difficult level, especially if you do the air swing on Climb the Tower of Power. Otherwise, it's not that bad. So you're gonna have to really just maintain good control of the air swing so that you don't slip off the slope, so that you don't clip into that corner right there. Yeah.